A great new feature we've added to Komodo 8.5 is the code refactoring. So this is where I can actually start renaming elements in my code without having to use find and replace like dialog. So if I wanted to rename element, I can right click, refactoring, rename variable, and then all the instances of that variable are updated. And as I type, I can change that. So if I change it to node, foobar, then all the instances change as I type. So that's really useful and speeds up code refactoring inside of your Komodo editor. So being able to rename variables is great, but Komodo takes it one step further and also allows you to change the names of class instances. So looking at this PHP class, I have class foo, a class bar, and I'm going to rename the foo display function. So I use refactoring, rename class member, and I can change the name, and I can actually customize where Komodo will search as well as the type of files it will examine. So as I perform the check, it shows me every occurrences. You can see here some of these are checked and some of these are not, and I'll go over why. So this is the file path, and this is the content. And so you can see that where an instance has called display, it has now been updated to what I changed it to, echo variables. And it's hit the actual function inside of class foo. But on line 30, which is in class bar, it hasn't updated it, and that's correct. But you can also tell it to update those as well. So it's more than just finding the instances, it also finds other occurrences nearby that you may want to change as well. And for example, in comments, I can change those as well. And then I'll go and update. And the third feature we've added to code refactoring in Komodo is the ability to create new methods from a selection of code. So if I select this piece of code in the display function and want to move that to a new function, I use refactoring, extract method, give it a new name, and that'll be moved into a new function call, and the display method where the code used to be will now be updated to call that method. You'll notice that the method extraction is quite smart. So if I'm selecting code that uses variables that have been passed in, for here the $extras is a function argument and $temp is a local variable. As I used refactoring, extract method, then Komodo is smart enough to determine that the $temp was a local variable, but it was only used inside of the scope I had selected, so it doesn't have to create a new argument for that. Whereas extras, it was being used outside of my selection, and so it passes that as an additional argument.